There are many instances, there are many stories of life in which the person has completely transformed. In the first half of his life or her life, she or he was a totally different person. And now that person has totally transformed. He is something totally different. And this has been happening from the very beginning of time. There are many people who have transformed. There is a saying in Hindi, 100 चूहे खाकर हज निकला, meaning after having all the pleasures of life, finally he has realized the significance of God. Finally he has started walking on the path of spirituality. So this saying, or people who say this, they are basically trying to demotivate that person, making him remember that look how you were before, look how bad you were. You see, that is how the fake society is. On one end they will say that you should improve, and if you really start improving, then they will always pull you back. It is a hypocrite society, and that is why this kind of sayings have come. That first he was having all pleasures of life, he was a devil, and now look how he is walking on the path of God. It is a kind of demotivating thing when you pull that person back and tell him, look how you were before, and now you are talking all good things about life. It is necessary to remember that nobody is born as saint. Reminds me of that beautiful quote of Nelson Mandela, that a saint is a sinner who keeps trying. A saint is a sinner who keeps trying. Banat banat ban jaye. That is what Lahari Mahasaya used to say. Lahari Mahasaya was the guru of Yukteswar Giri, and Yukteswar Giri was the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda. Nobody is born as saint. If you are a saint, then you don't need any cycle of birth and rebirths. So obviously if you are born, then you are born to go through certain course of your destiny. My question to all this kind of hypocrite, sarcastic people is that yes, this man was not good. He did many bad things, but now he is improving. Now he is changing for good. So at least he is taking the step towards his self-growth. But what are you doing? You are just looking at him like an idiot and making fun of him. And that is how these people remain jokers. Whereas wisdom laughs at itself. Fools laugh at others. Wisdom laughs at itself. So there are certain planetary aspects that signify that this man or this woman is going to change. The second part of their life is going to be altogether different than what they were. And what are those planetary aspects or placements? Of course, there are many, but the most significant is one that I am going to share in this video. The first is the placement of Rahu and Ketu in the 1st and 7th house. The second is the placement of Rahu and Ketu in the 4th and 10th house. The third is the placement of Ketu in the 1st house and Rahu in the 7th house. And the fourth is Ketu in the 4th house and Rahu in the 10th house. In nutshell, whenever Rahu Ketu occupy the center houses, there is bound to be a transformation in the person's life. Obviously, astrology is not black and white. There are certain gray shades. So it all depends on what are the supportive planets and whether the native itself is an evolved soul. Many times it happens that the river is very beautiful. The water in the river is also very clean, pure. But on the very circumference of it, there is a layer of dust. You see? And that is what I refer to when I speak about evolved souls. An evolved soul many times is in such a situation that he or she is an evolved soul, but at the moment the situation is such that on the layer of it, on the outer layer, on the circumference, there is a layer of dust. All that is required is the right time, and when the right time comes, the layer of the dust is removed, and then you see the actual pure water. You think that the water has become pure, but in reality, the water was pure. You understand what I am saying? And that is what this kind of men and women are. That is how Ratnakar was. In the beginning of his life, he was a thief, a looter, a murderer. And a time came in his life when he completely transformed. He attained enlightenment and he became Saint Valmiki. Now those who are not aware of his soul will say that the water has become pure. He has become pure. In reality, he was pure. But there are some karmic layers because of which he was involved in those kind of wrongdoings. As soon as that was taken away, as soon as that faded away, the real pure soul, the real Valmiki welled up, and Ratnakar became Saint Valmiki. The same Saint Valmiki who scripted the Ramayana scripture, which is currently being read by millions of Hindus. Saint Valmiki once was a thief, a murderer. Similar is the case with Saul. Saul used to hate Jesus and his followers. He caused much trouble to Christians. And one day, while walking, he fell and he was injured. His eyes started bleeding. He lost his eyes. And then there were some Christians passing by and they said, "Let us take him to Jesus." And they took him to Jesus, and Jesus was sitting beneath the tree. And Jesus just moved his hands on his bleeding eyes, and Saul got back his eyes. And not only he got his eyes, but he also got a new sight, a new perspective. And to remember this moment, he changed his name. From Saul, he became Paul. And that is how Saint Paul was reborn. And it is this same Saint Paul who built many churches. Imagine, a man who hated Christians, a man who hated Jesus, became one of the greatest lovers of Jesus. And he built many churches during those times. So this is how it is. Life can transform. And when it transforms, you will find many cheap people, shallow women who will try to pull you back, who will say, you did so many bad things, you did this and you did that, and now you are doing all these good things. So you see how the cunning mind is. And you will find many such people in your life too. They will always try to pull you back. They will never appreciate the fact that you have changed for good, because they never want you to become good. Because if you become wise, how can they exploit you? They will not be able to exploit you. The society will not be able to exploit you. The society never wants you to become wise. The society always fears an individual. Always remember this. And so, the placement of Rahu Ketu in the center houses, 1st, 7th, 4th, 10th, anywhere, is a perfect sign that yes, you have the potential to transform. You have the potential to work towards your self-growth. After all, when you die, what will come with you? Neither your bank balance, neither your cars and neither your bungalows. Nothing will come with you. Only your self-growth will come with you. And so, even though you have been a victim of bad situations in your life, even though you would have come across in some bad company, still you have the potential to come out of it and to work towards your self-transformation. Now when you have to look at your birth chart, it is possible that Rahu Ketu may not be in the center houses of your birth chart. But in the Chalita chart, Rahu Ketu is being seen in the center houses, either in the 1st and 7th, 4th or 10th. And the position of the Chalita chart is very significant. Always go by the position of your planets in your Chalita chart. There are many more things to share. There are many more things about Ainamsha that I would like to share with few of you through this channel. And I will, for sure. Enough for now. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.
Om Gam गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।